The 2025 Auto Show is back, and what better way to kick off the 2025 year for Performance Auto Group? As you know, Performance has 23 brands across 37 dealerships, and this year for 2025, we have so many models to look forward to. And the Canadian International Auto Show is always a great place to kick it off because we can see what's in store for 2025. So come with me and I'll show you some of the highlights. Over to the Mercedes section, the biggest thing to stand out is going to be the vertical G-Wagon behind me. And the G580 for 2025 is going to be the first G-Wagon to have EQ technology. That's right, a full electric powertrain. And because of that, we were just able to witness what's called the G-turn, which essentially has the G-Wagon be able to turn around 180 and 360 without changing its footprint by using those electric motors on the wheel. That will increase a little bit of off-road capability, as well as easier to park and things like that, and also just a really cool feature. I like that they didn't sacrifice any of that classic G-Wagon look while doing so. Another highlight in the Mercedes exhibit is the EQE 500, which showcases Mercedes' commitment to an all-electric powertrain with over 400 kilometers of range and still looks super timeless and classy, especially the wheels. Over to Nissan, which sticks out is the 2025 Nissan Armada, featuring some really off-road features like a locking differential and air suspension, but also some very luxury touches like infrared climate control, a massive screen for the driver and the center console, as well as massaging seats. So a really big all-around vehicle for both family and off-road. Okay, so over at our Toyota booth, we have the new Toyota 4Runner, and the one beside me is the new Trail Hunter package, which gives it some extra off-road gear, even a step above the TRD Pro. So even from styling, we see some nice rigid fog lights as well as really unique colors, but the side profile is where you start to take shape of how aggressive this hybrid off-road vehicle is. And what Toyota wanted to do with this one was create a vehicle that's an even bigger step above the TRD Pro. And they said that if the TRD Pro was just for speed running through the desert, this one could handle anything you throw at it. And that's why even on the other side, there's a snorkel that goes up the A-pillar to be able to still be able to suck up air if you submerge that front end. And there's some cool little niche things too. Like for instance, a removable JBL speaker from the dashboard that you can bring with you, as well as when you open the door, inside that door jamb, there's an LED light that you can change color from blue to red to white, and you can take it with you and hang it up in your campsite. So very, very useful off-road SUV. that is going to be really, really unique in the lineup and super exciting to see. Over to the Hyundai section, the biggest standout to me was this Ioniq 9. A few takeaways that I saw by just walking up to it was how aerodynamic that front EV end looks now. It's almost like an aviation grade of totally smooth, and I'm sure that's definitely increasing some of that range. But the most surprising part was actually the side profile, because I didn't realize how big the Ioniq 9 was going to look, especially with that wagon type SUV look that I love is coming back. All those brands with those squared off designs, the wagon type usefulness is definitely a theme here at the 2025 Auto Show. And you can't go to the Hyundai section without checking out the Ioniq 5N, which is the high performance little hatchback. And I can vouch, I've driven this car once, and when I accelerated, it felt like I was being rear-ended. But there is a cool other little niches that I like. I love the little strip down the center. It reminds me of like on a racing steering wheel, having that red strip in the center to show where it is. And they complement it well at the bottom of that front grille as well. So here is a very fast, very fun to drive EV that also looks really cool. Over to the Kia side of things, we have the launch of the EV5, which really follows that 2025 trend of square designed, high performance hybrid, and that panoramic display where the driver and passenger have that bonded glass between the two. So some of the trends we're seeing here today is definitely that square design. We have a lot of tech features popping up in some of these EV and hybrid models throughout all of the brands. And the EV5 is definitely going to be a hit, I can already tell. Let's start hot out the gate with the 2025 Lexus LC500 convertible. This is a car that the first year of launch won Car of the Year and still hasn't disappointed since that initial inception. This one beside me is the ultrasonic blue with a beautiful white two-tone interior. And here's a car that is still using a front engine rear-wheel drive platform with a 5-liter V8 that the sound took the engineers 5 years to perfect. and let me tell you, it's definitely worth hearing. Now, I do have a little surprise for you. So a lot of times Lexus will partner with certain craftsmen and Takumis in their own industries to create something special. So the IS beside me was actually designed by muralist Peru from Montreal, Canada, in collaboration with Lexus, and he did a really great job of incorporating the flower of life on the hood and making sure he complemented all of those angles of the IS in a true craftsman type way. Okay, so now over to some really cool SUVs from Lexus. So this is the GX 550 in the Overtrail package with the Earth color, which is new to the Lexus lineup as well. And this is an SUV that is great at off-road as well as super luxurious. And I actually had the chance to drive this on an off-road track back at the beginning of last year. And it was really interesting to see how you could just put it in crawl mode, have the articulation of the suspension, and just let the vehicle do all the work for that off-roading. And because of it being branded the way it is, there's also a lot of lifestyle accessories that you can get from different manufacturers for it. One of them being this Yakima shower, which is really interesting because it mounts up at the top and you fill it with water, and essentially it's designed to heat up in the sun so that when you're doing an actual overlanding expedition, you can shower off with relatively warm water from that accessory. And there's tons of Yakima designed accessories for something like the GX. And last but not least, the LX700H, which is the newest model to the Lexus lineup for 2025. And here is a hybrid powertrain SUV that checks all the boxes for not compromising on luxury or off-road capability. In fact, some may argue that this is even more capable than the GX Overtrail. And for a few good reasons. One of them is now we have actual ride control where you can raise and lower the height of the vehicle and the ground clearance, as well as those really off-road aggressive Overtrail tires. On the inside, I mean, it's still an LX or an L series car, meaning high-end materials, lots of buttons and features, and still a lot of space to be able to use something like this. So the LX is the no compromise SUV. Fuel economy is great, space inside is great, the ruggedness is great, and of course that ride quality is next level. So over in Subaru, we have the 2025 Forester e-Boxer Hybrid. So this is a Subaru Boxer engine paired with a hybrid powertrain for some smooth power delivery as well as great fuel economy. And you combine that with some amazing safety tech like the EyeSight features on these whole lineup of Subarus right now to create a very good fuel economy, tech, packed car, and a lot of safe features as well. Also, on the Subaru side of things, I think it's really cool that on these posters, they have lights behind them to show the headlights and give the cars a little bit of liveliness. Speaking of electrifying BMWs, BMW has this whole floor to showcase some of their EV and gas models and did a great return to the auto show because they've been gone for a couple of years and they came back pretty strong. Okay, so for BMW, there's a lot of electric, exciting things happening, but none more exciting than the M5 Touring, which is the high horsepower return of the wagon. And this particular one is like a matte black with a beautiful red interior, and I'm just super happy that the fast wagons are returning to not only the industry, but to North America, because it's something that we've been missing here in our market, and the BMW M5 Touring is definitely gonna check that box for a lot of people. Once you find yourself over to the massive Ford exhibit, it's going to be really hard to miss the Mustang GTD. This is a GT3 car that is built to compete with some of Europeans' finest high-end sports cars. And you could tell that even just by the tires and the styling, especially with that gooseneck wing on the back and all that carbon fiber on the front. As you can see, Performance Auto Group has so many exciting models and brands to represent for 2025, which today we barely scratched the surface on. So it's pretty easy to tell that if you are looking for a car in 2025, Performance Auto Group might be your best bet to find it.